Hi everybody, Butch Stearns here at day 2 of HealthIT. I'm with our opening day keynote today, Joe Petro from Nuance Communications. Hi Joe, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Nice job up there.
Thank you.
A lot of interesting things going on in healthcare and with Nuance, aren't there?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of innovation happening today. Yep.
Yeah, and hold it up a little closer. I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to hear you. So, talk about a little bit more what you talked about on stage. When you think about what's going on in HealthIT and you think about the things that voice can do, I mean, it brings up a whole different set of challenges and opportunities in the field, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So from a physician point of view, the ability to actually use natural dialogue to drive clinical documentation into an electronic medical record is absolutely key to their daily job. We have about 450,000 or so physicians on our technology every single day. So they're either holding a mic to drive clinical documentation into the EMR, they're picking up a phone, they're in a radiology reading station, and it's a major productivity increase because you can speak 3 or 4 times faster than you can type, and for most people it's even better than that.
So do you find, I guess, I don't know if there's a stat for this, but I think of physicians in general, and I think there's old school physicians and there's new school physicians. So do you find that old school physicians have a tough time adopting or accepting the mentality? Do they still want their notes? Do they do their notes along with the voice recognition?
I think the answer is kind of yes in general. So depending on how comfortable you are with typing and how you think. Voice can either be an easy thing to leverage, like right out of the box, or not. And so the interesting part is it's actually in reverse. So when you look at the physicians that were trained kind of 10 or 15 years ago or longer than that, they're used to narrating and dictating because it's taught in medical school. And so when you or I think, and we might be really good in email and just the fingers kind of tumbling off the words tumbling off your fingertips. It's kind of a different thought paradigm where you're sitting back in your seat, or you're staring at the screen, and you're basically trying to deliver a complete thought, using sentences and all of that. So actually the older folks in the physician community pick it up, just like that.
Because they've been trained like that. They've been trained to dictate from the beginning.
Absolutely, they've been trained like that. And then the newer physicians, some of our newer technologies, if they don't prefer using voice as a modality, for example, the understanding technologies, the ability to extract information from the things that they are typing and get that into the electronic medical record, use it for decision support, reporting, or whatever, that's key as well.
What about from the patient side of it? I mean, Gary from Vocantis talks about the products and services they have and they offer from that side of it, but it's a different mentality from the patient side, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a number of opportunities on the patient side in terms of deploying voice, right? So if we look at your entire spectrum of patients, for example, there's varying degrees of education, there's varying degrees of the ability to communicate what the issue is, but everybody can speak it. So the opportunities that we are looking at from a patient point of view are specifically centered on how does the patient interact with the institution or the practice or the physician in such a way that we can enhance it, enable it, make it better. There's simple stuff like, at UPMC, who's one of our large clinical partners, they've got a very comprehensive website because they're a payer and a provider. And one of the issues there is the website is so comprehensive that it's not so easy to find information on the site. So one of the things they can do is the patient can actually log in and say something like, bring me to the insurance coverage information. And rather than having to navigate through a series of menus or doing a bunch of searches, we can basically pop them, so to speak, directly to that location. So there's a whole bunch of opportunities from a patient point of view. We look at that as kind of the next interesting dimension of the market. Right now, we're very kind of focused on payer and provider and kind of exploiting all the opportunities in there. But meaningful use is putting and accountable care and all that, it's putting the patient front and center. So we're going to be getting into that area.
So let me finish with a final question about this industry and HealthIT. We at the Pulse have been I've found myself in a lot of conversations with IT professionals over the last year, and some of their pain points are, giving access within their company to people and nowadays in social media and this open and mobile world, giving access to our systems and our important information. Now you added in health IT with levels of HIPAA and levels of security and internal and external. So it's an exciting time, yet it's a challenging time for IT professionals. When you talk with your clients, where do you begin to address some of those challenges and opportunities?
Yeah, the patient. There's two dimensions. There's the patient information and there's patient safety in general,
Yes.
right? So, in terms of the patient information, everything that we do has to be HIPAA compliant. So, all the data centers that we have are HIPAA compliant data centers. We all the applications that we create, have the double handshake, the encryption. We don't leave any residue, so to speak, on any machine. So there's no patient safety information left behind, and we have to discuss this with clients in detail, relative to how we cover all of that, and we usually make it a normal part of the dialogue, and so it's a first-class element, central pillar, so to speak, of how we actually talk through things. In terms of the patient safety side of things, we're like any healthcare company that's extremely sensitive to that. So if we need to make a judgment call between speed and quality and those types of things, we always err on the side of quality and keeping the patient safe and all that. And
You have to in your industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, compared like the financial industry, even more so, because the thing with health that strikes me is that it's such a personal thing, as people have said to me over the last 2 days. We're all patients at one time or another, so you're talking about people's lives. It's not a financial document.
One of the things I always tell my developers is, if you're trying to make a judgment call and you're trying to do the right thing, pretend the person you love most is the person that's on the other end of the software, and that's how you make the call, right?
Joe, thanks for your time, and thanks for being a part of our event. Joe Petro from Nuance Communications. This is our coverage of HealthIT 2012.